Well, hi there! It's been a hot minute since we've done one of these, but welcome back to Cinemuck, where we discuss the muck and grime of today's Hollywood film industry. I'm your host, Studio Ginger, and thank you for joining us today. We got a great show for you. The last Cinemuck episode I did was over a year ago, and then I just hop on the scene and decide to do a Cinemuck episode after such a long period of time. What am I, the Carter 5? Very, very topical humor. Back on track, the first thing I'd like to talk about is Venom. So apparently Venom had this whole review embargo where reviews couldn't be posted of it until a certain amount of time. Well, that review embargo has now lifted and people have said their thoughts. Unfortunately though, not everyone's review was 100% positive. A lot of people just feel that the movie feels dated and that it should have come out in 2005. However, a large highlight in the reviews have been the relationship between Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom, which in a Venom movie I would think that that's the part that should be good. So luckily enough, they got that part right. I've always been very interested in Tom Hardy. I think he's a very good actor. He's kind of like the Pokemon Ditto. You never really see him as himself. You know, if you take Tom Hardy from The Dark Knight Rises, when he's Bane, I was born in the darkness, molded by it.
I was born in it, molded by it.
And then compare him to Tom Hardy in Mad Max, where he's all like, water. You can see that the guy definitely is a chameleon. And when the trailers for this movie came out, I gotta say I wasn't completely sold on his accent, but if he's the one thing about these reviews that everyone is praising, then I guess I should give him the chance. It's not that I was actively trying not to give Tom Hardy a chance. He's Tom Hardy, I'm just saying. The main reason, aside from the review embargo, that I wanted to talk about Venom was actually because news earlier this week came out that Venom is actually going to have almost 30 or 40 minutes of it completely chopped. I don't know what it is about all these superhero movies and completely chopping whole sections of film out, but I'm starting to get annoyed by it. Batman vs. Superman did it, and we got the ultimate cut. Now, personally, I like the ultimate cut of Batman vs. Superman, but also I'm more forgiving of that movie than a lot of people are. And then we got the Suicide Squad extended cut, which I didn't like at all, because it just added more footage of Jared Leto's Joker, which I think is the weakest Joker to ever grace the screen. He didn't have any type of presence at all. He didn't seem like he had the psychopathic, pure menace that the Joker has. He just seemed like a really eccentric, weird gangster dude, and I wasn't vibing with his performance at all. In fact, I found it kind of laughable. Not even mentioning that, in the trailer for Suicide Squad, they show Jared Leto Joker footage of him, with a sizzled face and long hair holding a grenade, and that's not even in the movie, not even in the extended cut either, so I don't get it. And when people, show pictures of Jared Leto's Joker, they use that picture. That was never anywhere else other than the trailer. So for those reasons, I didn't like the extended cut of Suicide Squad at all. And then there was supposed to be a extended cut of Justice League, which I wanted to see because of all the director conflicts between Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon and how he had to step down from the project and Whedon refilmed half of the movie. I wanted to see the director's Snyder's cut of that movie just for those reasons, but that never happened. But somehow, Venom, this Sony-owned superhero movie, is going to have 30 to 40 minutes chopped in a potential extended cut. Next on our list of things to talk about is the Hellboy reboot. Now, if you don't recall, the very first episode of Cinemuck that I ever recorded over a year ago actually talked about this Hellboy reboot. So it's only fitting that a year later, when I'm filming this episode, I talk about it again, because David Harbour has released the official photo of him in the full Hellboy makeup, and boy oh boy does it look cool! How about you take a fat gander at this? I couldn't be more pleased with this photo. I think it looks straight up Hellboy. It looks dark. It looks menacing. This whole picture just looks metal as heck. The flaming blade, the arm, just everything about this picture is just screaming Hellboy right now. I think everyone is dying to see a little bit more David Harbour, especially in a role like this, which is really comic book action heavy. I'm 100% excited for this. This Hellboy reboot promises to be darker, might even go for an R rating, which would be really cool to see, especially since the movie we mentioned previously didn't go for that. I just need one. Just need one. Next article. Ending off today's episode, I'd like to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, Spider-Man Homecoming is one of my favorite MCU movies, and with the success of the new Spider-Man video game, I think it's relevant for me to talk about some Spider-Man news. The news I'm saying today is that we actually have a picture leaked online of Spider-Man's stealth suit from the new movie. Here's the picture right here, and when I look at this picture, I immediately think an uncanny similarity to Spider-Man Noir. Maybe that's just me, but I think it's pretty plain as day when you look at the two photos that it's heavily inspired by Spider-Man Noir. It might even be Spider-Man Noir. I hope that's what this movie's all about. And the whole like far from home thing is just a way to talk about the multiverse situation and bring that into the Spider-Man MCU stuff. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is I'm liking this suit. And talking more Spider-Man news, you know, we're getting closer and closer to the release of Into the Spiderverse, which is that super cool animated Spider-Man movie that's coming out this winter. I'm really down with that, and I just found out that Spider-Man Noir is going to be in that movie as well, and he's going to be voiced by none other than Nicolas Cage. I'm always super excited to see Nicolas Cage in a movie like this. Like, he was in Teen Titans Go, the movie, and he played Superman, and I was very pleased by that as a nerd, and knowing the history of him in the Superman role. I'm kind of already hearing it. I can hear his voice just creeping in my eardrum. What if they explain his backstory too, and like Spider-Man Noir gets like bit by a bunch of spiders, and he's like, no, not the spiders! Not the bees! Oh, they're in my eyes! Oh, they're in my eyes! My eyes! Ah! He just starts like running down the street, or like swinging down the street in the Noir suit, and he's just like, I'm a Spider-Man! I'm a Spider-Man! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! Nicolas Cage is not a real person. Nicolas Cage is a glitch in the system. Like, have you seen that Rick and Morty episode where they're inside a bunch of simulations and there's that one guy who's just like, my man, and he glitches through the trees? My man! That's Nicolas Cage on this planet. He's a godlike entity, I tell you. Have you guys ever seen the movie Wicker Man? There's a scene in that movie where Nicolas Cage, straight up, is in like a full grizzly bear costume, attending some like cult meeting, and then Nicolas Cage just runs out in a bear suit and socks a woman in the face for like no reason.
What is it? What's wrong, sister?
I wouldn't lie to you guys about something like that. I love Nicolas Cage. There's also an interview where like he did Ghost Rider. You know, the interviewer was like, you know, my Johnny Blaze didn't eat jelly beans out of a martini glass. And Nicolas Cage's response was, well, mine does. We don't deserve Nicolas Cage. I think that's where I'm going to end the episode off. Just, we don't deserve Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that sounds about right. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps me out. I love hearing you guys' feedback. And also, if you haven't watched my new series, Bye Bye Sunshine Behind the Scenes, I suggest that you do so. I spent a lot of time on that, and it's really funny. I'm really proud of it. And I'm really proud of Bye Bye Sunshine, the film that we worked on. So go ahead, go to the Dusty Films YouTube channel to watch the full thing, or just watch all my behind-the-scenes footage, but I don't get why you would watch that first, because it's got spoilers, but yeah, free views, I guess. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. It's okay, we're friends now.